Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the AMX 13105. It's a tier 10 French light tank. It's located on the south spawn of Nebelburg, and this is a grand battle, and the player is BassmanFromHell. Yes, he sent us in plenty of light tank replays. He certainly does enjoy his light tanks, and he's got a 2-marked AMX 13105. Now, despite the fact that AMX built this tank, I'm afraid the French army didn't accept it. Yep, it wasn't purchased by them, mainly because it was just too violent that it would break the turrets with the recoil. Yes, the stress that it was actually putting the equipment under was just too much for it. It's got 3 shots of 105mm ammunition, which is capable of 390 alpha with a reload of, penetration of 234, I think it is 234, and the total reload takes 26.48 seconds. The intra-clip reload should be 3 seconds, but Bassman's managed to get it down to 2.73. And it's going to try and use the bush mechanic, spot the enemy, and potentially take a few pot shots along the way. This is a very well-known spotting position. I would not be surprised if an enemy light tank decided to come up here as well to seize this position. I haven't seen any yet, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Now, basically, the gun, the 105mm, is actually the same gun that you find on the Batchat 25 ton. It's also got the same engine as the AMX 13105AM, which of course is the artillery. And as many of you in What Arty Noobs may know, one of our members actually owns one of those. He's got the real thing. And we spotted the enemy at a distance. It's a T110E3. Get shots on him. Difficult at this range, but he might have a go anyway. Oh, now Strip 103B's been spotted instead. That's a priority target. Nice shot! 383 low roll. Fires the second one in, didn't see if he got that one in, but he might have. And the third shot definitely hits. And that was 340. Again, another low roll. But he did get some spotting assist as well. So he's in reload at the moment. His reload is 23.94. Remember I said it was 26.435 foot. Shells are going in. Oh, E100 spotted as well, and it looks like they were spotted by somebody else, because the E100 was actually sporting some stun, so I think the Arty fired a round in there. Okay, Bassman's decided to change position, get some better spotting. Better. Oh, he spotted a Jaegeru and a Leopard 1 this time. Which knows the light tank's job to find the enemy, and he's found the enemy AMX 13105. He didn't wander very far from his own teammates. So yeah, he's not doing his job effectively if you are too close to your own team and they're the ones doing the spotting instead. Leopard 1, he's marking targets for his teammates to hit, so they're watching, and he's picking up some spotting assists. Oh yes, he's getting some nice stuff here, good hit points. I get the feeling he's thinking about putting around into that Jaegeru, but the Jaegeru goes down. Okay, he's close to the enemy E100, there's their Leopard. T110E3, they're moving up, he needs to be a bit cautious here. There's the Leopard, and he was spotted. Yeah, when he pulled back there, he was seen. So he's got a Scarper before one of those big boys decides to put around this way. There's virtually no armor on an MX-13. The hull's got 15mm at the front, 20 at the sides, 15 at the rear. The turret, 40mm at the front, 20 at the side and 20 at the rear. So yeah, any shell's going to hit it. Oh, look at the way he's devastating that E100. He decides to pop his reload rather than fire that last round at the E100. That's mainly because you don't get a huge ammo capacity in this tank. It's only 33 rounds in total. Put the tree down for a bit more cover. Yeah, so you have to be cautious. That E100 is almost to say, not quite, within the proximity, the 50 meters. Of course, auto detection if that happens, if it gets too close. Well, he's decided to outflank them, which is a smart move, because if you can get around the outside, he can actually shoot them in the rear, and of course there's not a lot that they can do, because they've either got to face their guns towards our teammates, or they've got to face us. And that Leopard seemed to pull back because he knew that somebody was on his flank. And we found one of the enemy Arty, the T92 HMC. Our teammates in the Arty will be on that guy in a second, because obviously they want a nice little kill. Been spotted again, not good. Because when you're on a flank like this and get spotted, is he looking our way? No, he's not. He's actually looking the opposite way, so we can shoot him in the rear of the turret. Of course, there's the escape hatch on the E100. Oh, we got hit by the 2684 with his 152. Need to get round behind this house. E100's out the game anyway. Interesting fact, the E100 turret is the same turret that was supposed to be put on the mouse. I mentioned that to Safety last night because she was playing the mouse, and I said factually it's not the correct turret. There was two mice built, or two mouses built, and when the Russians arrived, they killed the one of the mouse by setting fire to it. I think it was actually trying to fight them, but they killed the tank anyway, set light to it, and then afterwards they dragged the turret off that mouse and then planted that turret onto the body of the second version of the mouse that was still being worked on, because it didn't have a turret, and then took that back to Kubinka. T57 heavy takes around 380 low roll. He's now up to 6,500 of spotting damage and 1,873 of actual, so he's likely to come off with a very good result after this battle. He's also spotted a number of enemy tanks. Oh, another Arty spotted, the batch at 155.58 this time. There he is, and the kill shot goes to the Strip 103B. There's 10 enemies left. A Bosch 155 just coming to sight. The T57 Heavy's being killed to our left. He's only got 6 hit points left, and we can see the Object 268 version 4 that fired at us earlier. He's up there. He's probably firing at the Strip 103B. We actually drove directly in front of the Strip's line of fire there. I don't think he'd be too happy about that, but he might be happy if we get that one. No, we didn't. Okay, so we're now going really up front. There's a 7 difference between the teams now. Ooh, now this is interesting. He spotted some long-range targets, including a Leopard 1. And he gets him. Low roll, but 377. Gets him again. Now, is he going to pop his reload? Pop your reload. Yep, he does. You can see when that shell from the 268 version 4 went in, it actually cut straight across the engine deck of the 13. Well, it's not the engine deck, actually. It's the rear of the 13105. The engine's actually up front on that thing. My mistake. Yep, it doesn't have the engine at the back. It cut across the rear of the vehicle. Okay, what can you see now? There's only 6 more enemy left. It appears that most of them are in the town. So we're going to have to motor if we're going to get spots on those guys. The people who actually did buy the AMX 13105 were Argentina and the Netherlands. And apparently Austria got one as well for trials, just to test it. Over yet. It's being very cautious. And with good reason, because there's a Death Star up there looking down on us. The FB215B183. We haven't got a clear shot. If we carried on any further, I think he probably would have tried to put a round into us. So what is this M60 doing? Trying to shove us into the line of fire and use this as a human shield. Bad boy, M60. Okay, we're going to get very close to the Death Star. M60 is just behind us again. There he is. Oh, he pumps one into the FB. And the M60 gets his just desserts and gets nuked by the FB. And now, of course, he's got a long reload. So Bassman puts his 2 shells in. And now he needs to scarper before that guy can get close to him. And fire is reloading. Yes, Bassman's getting away as fast as he can. Can't catch me. You can't catch me. I'm too quick for you. Oh, and he missed. Okay, so we've got 3 shells now and you've got nothing. And that means this is now Bassman's prey. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, yes. Nice kill. 1 more enemy to go. Okay, it's probably an Arty. No, it's actually, I think it's a light tank. Or is it? He's got 4 kills, whoever he is, so he knows what he's doing. Bassman didn't reload. And that's it. The game's over. They got him. It was an AMX 13105 on the other side of the map. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for the Bassman from Hell in the AMX 13105. He managed to get a spot advantage for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a bruiser for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he got 6. He got a patrol GT for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were damaged, and he also got a scout medal as well, which means he managed to detect at least 9 enemy vehicles. And in combination with the spotter and the patrol GT, that means he got a holy trinity, which means he was doing his job very efficiently as a light tank driver. Yes, if you can get those 3 medals and an ace tanker, then an ace with the holy trinity, yep, you've done your job. You were really good in that game. He also managed to pick up a tank sniper because he was doing a lot of damage on the enemy at very long range. Let's have a look at team score. Well, surprisingly, he didn't get the highest damage in that one because it went to a 121B on the enemy team with 5,081 hit points. The second highest damage went to the TVP 250-51 on the enemy team with 4,194. And then we got Bassman, and he was the top scorer on his own team with 4,083 hit points of actual damage. When it came to kills, though, he was way down the table because the Object 261 managed to get 4, so did the AMX 13105, the last enemy to be killed on their team. He also picked up a Pascucci's medal, so I suspect that he was actually Arty hunting, and that's when he came a cropper. 3 enemy vehicles were killed by the M60, the one who propelled us into the way and then got his just desserts because the Death Star finished him off. And then we got a number of tanks with 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, there's only 1 player on that team who managed to get over 1,000, and it was the Bassman with 1,298. The second highest was 869 by the Leopard, and the third was 857 by the Object 268 version 4. So he was heads and shoulders above the enemy, above his own team rather, in terms of his ability to win that battle. Look at that win rate, 5,606, super unicum, and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at the detail. He fired 15 rounds in that game, 13 of them hit the target, and 11 penetrated. 4,083 hit points of damage, of which 1,527 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive a hit. It was from the 268 version 4, and it was quite a nasty hit, but it was still a low roll for the 268 version 4, so he was lucky in that sense. He spotted 9 enemy vehicles, so just qualified for the scout, but there was a number of enemies out there. 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 killed, and 8,357 hit points of damage assistance. Quite nice, actually, that the one vehicle that was killed was the one guy who was chasing after him to try and kill him at the end of the game. And then, of course, he fluffed his shot, and Bassman said, right, well, I've had you, I've got you, and he did. 93,059 credits for the game after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables took away a profit of 25,885 credits. He picked up 7 bonds because this was a tier 10 game, 1,947 XP, no multipliers because he's already played this one before this evening and won in it. So that's all the experience points he takes away. What a great game that was. Yeah, he does like his grand battles, the Bassman. And he sent me in a large number of replays. Don't worry, Bassman, I do still have all the links to those replays. I will get them done eventually when I get the chance, but obviously it's a matter of getting the time together to record them, but they will be done eventually. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this vehicle. Okay, no armor. I did say that, didn't I, during the battle? Yeah, this thing is a walking nightmare. If you actually do receive a shell, it's going to go through. Look at that, it's green. Anywhere, hit anywhere except the gun, maybe, I suppose. And even if you do hit the gun, you're going to get a critical hit anyway. So really, the thickest armor is just at the front of the hull. Remember, the engine's on this side of the vehicle, the driver's on the other side, commander at the back, and the gunner. Yeah. It is a walking nightmare when it comes to armor because it's so thin indeed. We look at the modules though, we'll have a quick look there. You can see driver on the right side, engine on the left, transmission in front of him. We've got the tank commander on the right hand side, the gunner on the left hand side, tank commander doubles as loader, and the bustle is where the ammo rack is, but there's also another ammo store down below in the actual hull, as well as the fuel tank. Now it may have been the fuel tanks that Object 268 fired the round directly across. I can't remember if it did actually penetrate it. I don't think it did. I think it just skimmed the top of the surface of the engine, well, what I would call the engine deck of any tank. Of course, the engine deck's up here. So he was very lucky in the sense that he didn't get a fuel explosion at that point, or a fire, which would have actually put him out of the game. But that's where the modules are on the AMX 13105. So I hope you enjoyed the battle. If you did, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.